What's up, you guys? Paul here. Given what's going on in the current housing market and the potential for further massive declines, I want to address everyone's concerns, share my thoughts about what's going on, and provide some insights into what you could be doing to help protect yourself. Coming from someone who's been investing in real estate since 2007 and having sold over $50 million in residential real estate in the past decade alone, I can totally understand why buyers and sellers are feeling stuck in this market. Recent headlines are a mixed bag, with some outlets reporting a potential for a crash like we saw in 2008, while others are forecasting the market could be bottoming out and ranging all the way to the other side of the spectrum, with forecasts for prices to rise in some local markets. Given all the craziness in this market, it's easy to take your eyes off the prize, but dialing in on what's important to you and your goals will help you stay focused. Now, more than ever, it's crucial that you don't make the 7 most common mistakes that most buyers and sellers make. I promise you, from all my experience in buying, selling, and renting real estate for myself and my buyers and sellers, that these mistakes are easily avoidable so long as you're aware of them. And I'm going to share them with you. Look, all I ask is if you found this information helpful, hit that like button and the subscribe button, as it really does help the channel. So, with that said, here goes. So, first up, stop lying to yourself about your budget. You're going to reach out to a lender to get a pre approval, and they're going to bust out their calculator and they're going to run some numbers and ask you how much you make, and then carry the one, stretch it out a little bit, and they're going to come back at you with a number. And they're going to say, this is how much you can afford to spend on a house. And the really good ones are going to tell you how you can stretch that, pay down some debt, move some things around, and really maximize how much money you can spend on a house with the loan that you take. Because face it, the lender makes their money on the loan that they give you. And the bigger the loan that you take, the more money they're going to make. But only you know your spending. Only you know that you like to take a fancy vacation every single year. But that doesn't show up on the credit report, and the lender's not going to take that into account when running their numbers. Because look, it's not in their best interests. Or only you know that you like having drinks and fine dining for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day of the week. Excuse me. Can I get some more champagne, please? Thank you. What's that? Yeah, I know it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. Why do you think I'm drinking champagne? But in all seriousness, only you understand what kind of budget you're going to be comfortable with going forward. And it's up to you to figure that out. Even if a lender is willing to give you more money, it doesn't mean you should be spending it, because you're going to be the one dealing with that payment going forward. Number 2, be real with yourself and everyone that's going to be living with you about everybody's true needs, their must haves. This is especially crucial when you're buying your first place and you really don't necessarily know what the other person's needs are. And you buy that 2 bedroom, 1 bath, condo in the city, and you go, okay, I'm working from home. And then you realize that your partner likes to play the guitar during the day. Or you have kids not long after you buy your place, and look at that, it's twins. And now what are you going to do about working from home? And look, honestly, that doesn't apply just to first time home buyers. It applies to every time you're going to be making a move. You really got to consider not only where you are just today, but where you're going to be and what your needs are going to be 1, 2, or 3 years down the line. Are you planning on potentially having a parent move in with you, downsize their living situation? And in that case, if you buy a 4 bedroom, 1 bath house with all the 4 bedrooms on the second floor, that might become a problem for that person, that you're trying to have live with you. And look, let's face it, at that point, having only one bathroom, everybody's probably going to drive themselves nuts. But really, this scenario is different in every situation, and everybody's situation is a little different. But you got to kind of think about what your needs are going to be. So at that point, you're not forced to then make a move again. Number 3, in real estate, we have a saying: price, condition, location. Pick your favorite 2, because chances are you're not going to get all 3. Face it, most people don't have a bottomless budget. And if you were paying attention in number 1, you set your budget to where you're going to be comfortable making that payment monthly. And it might be less than your lender tells you can afford. And you learn in number 2 that the space that you need is going to be the space that you need, right? If you need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, you need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. You're not going to go buy a 2 bedroom, 1 bath just to save money or get a better conditioned place. So, what does that leave you? Well, price is out of the equation at this point. We got that figured out. So, you got location and you got condition. Your choices are either going to be to get a great location and likely condition's going to suffer at that point, or you're going to get something in great condition, but the location is probably going to be further out or in a less desirable place than you initially wanted to be in. And that's going to be a choice you're going to have to make. But if you go with condition as being where you give up on, in favor of location, you need to be real with yourself in terms of updates that you're going to have to make in the future and your ability to be able to do those. You know, are you handy? Are you going to be doing them yourself? Or are you going to hire somebody out to do them? And if you're going to hire somebody out to do them, realistically, what is it going to cost you? And at what point in your financial situation do you really think you're going to have that money to be able to do it? Because if you're not going to be making any more money than you are right now, are you really going to be able to afford those updates? And if you're not going to be able to afford those updates, are you okay with that? Because it might be a while before you get into the position where you might be able to. Number four, there's pretty much two things guaranteed in life: taxes will go up and concrete will crack. And when those repairs are necessary, you need to be in a position to be able to make them. A great place to start in terms of preparing for that is understanding where your home is in its repair cycle. If you're looking at a home with a 20-year-old roof, and depending on the area that you're in, a roof might only last 25 years. You got to consider that in 5 years, you're going to need a new roof. Whether you got the money for one or not, a leaking roof is not something you want to be dealing with. And that applies to everything that keeps the house going: the furnace, the air conditioner, the water heater. They all have an expected lifespan. And you need to understand where they are in that home's lifespan to understand when you may have a big cost looming to get those repaired or replaced. And sometimes they don't even make it to their expected lifespan, and that cost creeps up on you sooner than you expected. But look, honestly, in a house, unless you're in a brand new house, and even if you are in a brand new house, things are always going to be breaking and things are always going to need repair. I'm going to repeat myself on that one. In a house, things are always breaking, like always, seriously. There's always something that needs to be fixed. So, being able to budget for that and having extra money set aside for when that happens is really going to take the stress out of that whole situation for you. Wait, what's that? The toilet's leaking again? Put some more chewing gum on it. That should buy us a week. Number five, reoccurring expenses are going to go up. They always do. They're going to keep going up, and you got to prepare yourself for that. Your property taxes that are tied to services that are provided in your local area, be it schools, road maintenance, everything is going to keep getting more expensive, especially now with rising inflation. That's going to push your property tax bill up. Your electric bill, your gas bill, all that's going to keep getting more expensive. And don't discount the other things that you do around the house, whether that's maintaining your grass, getting the house painted, or getting the pool fixed. It's always going to keep getting more expensive, and you need to be ready for that. Number six, understand your loan terms. Are you doing a fixed rate mortgage where the rate's not going to change for 15 or 30 years? Or are you doing an adjustable rate mortgage where the rate's fixed for the first 5 or 7 or 10 years and then can have the potential to change every 6 months to a year? Are you doing a temporary rate buy down when you're purchasing the house, like a 3-2-1 buy down? I cover more of that in this video up here. But is your rate going to change after the first or second or third year to a point where you may be less comfortable with that payment? Or are you planning to refinance in a couple of years? And I also cover that in that video. And once you understand that portion, the other big thing you want to consider is, are you escrowing money? Are you having your bank put away money for taxes and insurance every single month as part of your mortgage payment? Because if you are, understand that when those taxes and insurance payments change for the bank, they're going to then adjust your bill and what you're paying every single month. And if you buy a house and you see a big swing in property taxes, you might all of a sudden get a surprise bill from your bank to help cover that new payment. And number seven, so Be in it for the long haul. If you're looking to buy a place, plan to stay there at least 7 to 10 years. And the reason behind that is selling a house is expensive. And you might find it takes you at least 5 years to break even on the house that you bought. But consider with prices having gone up so much over the past 2 to 3 years, you really need to plan to stay in your home a longer period of time to give yourself the potential to be able to break even or make money on your purchase. Best thing you can do is be smart about your budget, what you can afford, and where you want to be, and pay attention to the 7 things that I mentioned so you don't make the mistake that a lot of people make, and you'll definitely be in a better spot because of it. Hopefully, you found value in these 7 tips. And if you did, please do hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really does help the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.